Hello, could you please introduce yourself for our students?
Hello, my name is Deena Tissera. I am a local politician and a businesswoman and an alumni of Aberdeen University.
Thank you very much. Can you tell me about your decision to attend the University of Aberdeen and what factors influenced your choice?
I was already in Aberdeen. I did my undergraduate degree at Robert Gordon University, and the degree that I was looking for in terms of pursuing a master's degree, that exact degree was available at Aberdeen University. So it was a no-brainer already. I was already, I already fit into the city already, and I knew about the city a lot. So I just stayed and pursued my master's degree here.
Yeah. Why did you choose to study global health and management?
I was very keen on policy aspect of things because my undergraduate degree was very clinical based because I did an undergraduate degree in biomedical science. So with my involvement in politics and interest in policy, it made a lot of sense to get into sort of like global health and the policy aspect of things. So it was a decision based on that.
What did you find the most challenging while studying in Aberdeen?
Being an international student, there are loads of challenges that we face. Immigration is one of it, and obviously the big one is weather and climate in Aberdeen. And I think making new friends as well when you're new here. These are some of the things that everyone faces. And I guess the transition into a new education system, I think a lot of international students can relate to that.
Yeah. How did your PhD journey differ from your previous academic experience?
I think PhD is quite a different type of education because it's more into research and you are on your own doing your project, whereas undergraduate degree and postgraduate degree you have other friends, students who study with you because you do modules and you're in a classroom studying. That you don't get that experience with a PhD. You feel like you're on your own navigating through and you feel like you're deep in the ocean all on your own.
What did you enjoy about studying global health and management?
I think it was one of the best degrees that I actually did. That was me following my passion about social justice, health globally, policy and aspects of things as well. So one of the key reasons for me choosing this degree was there's a placement embedded within the degree. So for me, getting that UK-based work experience was a key part of it. And the internship that I chose was politics of health in terms of looking at driving policy and using social media to crowdsource and get crowd support to influence policy. So for me, it was a very interesting part of it.
Yes. So how have your goals and aspirations changed since attending the University of Aberdeen?
So for me, experience between Robert Gordon University and Aberdeen University were very important because at Robert Gordon University was when I got my first taste in politics because I was the vice president international at the student union. So when I came to Aberdeen University, that's when I got active within the Labour Students Association and got very close to the Labour Party, and I started campaigning throughout the elections. During that time we had the Scottish parliamentary elections while I was a student at the university, and Brexit happened as well, so I was pretty much engaged in those campaigns as a student affiliated with the Aberdeen Labour Students Association at the university.
That's great. Did you take part in any student organization or societies during your time at university?
Absolutely, that is the Aberdeen Labour Students Association.
Yes. So you mentioned you had an internship. Did you have any part-time jobs and other internships while you studied?
So yes, I did I did work part-time at different parts of my education stuff. I did do I consulted on a small research project. I did some fashion shoots and stuff like that as well, when and where possible. But I would also like to stress that as an international student, you get only 20 hours of work, and because we pay such staggering fees, we have a lot of stress on us to perform in our class assignments and exams. So it's very difficult to balance all of that, and for me it was really important to make the most of my student experience at university, and that meant joining with the societies, that meant engaging with loads of student networks and furthering myself in terms of that. So it was very difficult for me to continuously have a part-time job, but also 20 hours a week working is not enough to even pay your rent. So it is a struggle that a lot of us international students have faced throughout the years, you know.
Yes. What advice do you have for students trying to get internships?
I would first recommend to choose a master's degree or an undergraduate degree that has an internship embedded within it, because the university has partnerships with those organizations. So it is a good opportunity for you to have that within it. It also gives you credits for your master's degree as well. So I think it's a very good opportunity there. The other thing is, you have all these job sites and stuff like that. So it's always best for you to check on all of that. It doesn't necessarily have to be an internship. It could be a job as well. So if you can have that conversation with the employee, you probably might be able to fit something in.
Yes. What are your current responsibilities as a co-founder of Settlers?
So Settlers is an app that helps newcomers in the UK. We launched this app in October last year. We did a beta launch to test out the app. So I'm the chief marketing officer of Settlers. So I mean, this is an idea that was brought forward by my two other co-founders and myself. So we sat down and we worked together, bringing all our experiences as migrants, international students as well, onto the table to kind of navigate through all the challenges that we face, and so all the solutions that we know as well, to put that into these apps. So the creative side of things, solution side of things, and even right now getting more users on board as well. So all of that, I guess it's when you are an entrepreneur, your project becomes like your baby. So every aspect of it, we all contribute as much as we can.
Thank you. What are the essential skills that make you a good leader?
I think listening to understand, I would say, is a very important thing. When you understand the person's issues or your team's issues, I think you're more solution oriented in that way. Instead, a lot of leaders I see, they listen to hear, but they don't listen to understand. That brings about conflict and not solutions. So I think for me, that's a big part of it.
Thank you. How do you prioritize tasks and manage your time effectively?
Well, because I do quite a bit of things, and previously I was in academia, politics, and entrepreneurship. For me, smart working is the most important thing. I like to look at my time and how impactful I can be with my time, and see what tasks that I can do to make sure that I make the most of my time. So what I do every night is do a to-do list, which has 3 categories: priority 1, priority 2, priority 3. If I manage to do the tasks in the day which ticks off the priority ones, it's fine. If I can go a little bit step further and do the priority 2, I've made an immense progress for the day. And then priority 3, I've yet to have a day that I have managed to do all 3, but I haven't not up to date. So I guess it's about understanding what's urgent and what's not, and managing that with that.
Thank you. What made you to go into politics?
It's a long story. It was a personal story for me. In my first year of university at Robert Gordon's University, I was walking into my exam and I got a call from my mother just literally 10 minutes before my exam, saying that my dad had just had a stroke and he is paralyzed. And I was shocked. I was a medical student at the time, and I understand what paralysis meant, but I couldn't process it when it happened to my father. She told me that he can't speak anymore. I said, fine, I'll just go into this exam, I'll finish it up and I'll give you a call back, right? I walked into the exam and I couldn't perform, I was anxious, I couldn't breathe. So I just told the invigilator saying, I just got this call, like I can't, I'm having a panic attack. And then he just took me outside and he said, you need to go home. And the same night I went home. I found out that my dad had 4th stage cancer, and he was perfectly fine, he was a perfectly healthy man. I spoke to him the day before, and I spent a couple of weeks with him, came back, did a couple of exams and went back again, and he passed away. When I came back to university, I had missed a couple of exams because it's during the recent time and the other time that my father was really ill. So I had given all my documents in time according to the academic regulations as to why I missed the exams. But the university told me that I couldn't go to the next year because I missed too many exams. Right? And I said it's not fair on me because, I mean, this is a compassionate situation that was out of my control. I shouldn't be penalized for it because as an international student, that meant to take a year off to go back home, to reapply for a visa, show the money in the bank, 48 to 50,000 pounds in your bank account to apply for your application fees as well, in a couple of £1,000 and an NHS surcharge as well to pay all of that money. I said it's not fair on me to get penalized for that, right? So I fought my case. I had a protest at the university and I fought my case with the academic board, and then they said, okay, we're gonna arrange some exams for you to be done now, and then some in January, and then some in the recent time, so you can go to the next year. So that made me realize a lot of international students face similar situations as me. We're far away from home, our families are far away. Doesn't necessarily have to be a death, but we have financial issues. One of our parents could be ill, or just being away from home in a different place where it's so unknown can be overwhelming already. So I want to represent students. So that made me stand for elections as vice president. And then once I became vice president, I served 3 terms, but once I became vice president, I realized the issues that we face aren't just within the universities, it's wider than that. It's the whole immigration system that marginalizes us. Like, for example, as international students, sometimes because what immigration does, we don't even get priority for mental health issues. Like, we have to perform, we have to pay our fees. We don't get the luxury to take a step back and relax. Okay, fine, I can take some time off now. I'm struggling with my mental health. We don't get that because immigration scrutiny pushes us to making us cash cows. Perform. If you fail, your visa is gonna get revoked. If you don't pay your fees, your visa is gonna get revoked. That's the scrutiny we are put into. So I went to NUS international conferences and met like-minded people. We created a UK-wide political movement called South Asian Students Union. Through that, we campaigned against unfair immigration laws. One of it was the Home Office Secretary at the time, Theresa May. She wanted to impose a £6,000 bond on student visas, which means that anybody applying for a student visa will have to pay for a £6,000 bond, and only when they leave that they can claim it back. So we were successful in the campaign, and that made me realize, wow, change is possible. I'm now getting thirsty for change, and I wanted to get more involved in politics, and I graduated from Robert Gordon University, and the next moment I joined Aberdeen University, I joined the Labour Students Association, and my political career grew from there.
Thank you. We're very sorry for your dad.
Thank you.
How did you become a councillor?
It's a long journey. So I got quite active with the Labour Students Association at the University of Aberdeen, got involved in local campaigns. We ran the election campaigns for the local MSP during the Scottish parliamentary elections. We also ran the election against Brexit, no campaign in Aberdeen. So those gave me the real taste on how to do door-to-door canvassing, leafleting, phone banking, speaking to people, and really spreading the Labour message across the city, and to understand what it really takes to be a campaigner, and the grassroots understanding of what the policies are. So after that, I got an opportunity to be a part of a leadership program. Only 5 women in whole of Scotland got selected, and I was lucky to be a part of that. That trained me onto understanding the leadership skills that's required, and it's not an easy journey because it really needs you to really own your identity, who you are, and what you stand for. Really put some solid foundation for that. I was mentored by the leader of my party at the time, and then became the vice chair of my constituency to focus on all the campaign work in the area. I've served as vice chair for the last 7 years now, and then I became a community councillor in the city to understand what the local issues are and what the local people are facing. then became the Scottish executive of the Labour Party to represent the Northeast Highlands and Islands, and went through selections to become a councillor. But before that, I had to become a permanent resident of the country. So I became a permanent resident of the country a couple of months before my election. So that was a bigger hurdle. Immigration. 10 years I had to live in the country to get my indefinite leave to remain in the UK. So.
What are your key responsibilities as a councillor?
I think citizens' well-being in the city. I take my job very seriously in terms of being the voice for the underrepresented, particularly migrants, international students, and any minority background, ethnic people, any minority community, to be honest. So I believe that I became the first woman of colour elected to the Aberdeen City Council. That is glass ceilings shattering. For me, I don't look at it as an achievement. The real achievement for me is when I build the bridges to make sure that the people of my ethnicity and minority backgrounds, their voices are being represented, and more opportunity for representation for them as well. Building bridges, I would say, is the bigger achievement for me. So I serve on multiple committees, Anti-Poverty and Inequality Committee. I also serve on the housing public protection committee as well. At the current moment, those are the two committees that I'm on. Previously, I was on the health board, as well as planning committee and various other committees as well. So at the current moment, taking motions to the council, I've been a voice for women's rights and minorities, and sport and mental health and stuff as well. So it's a lot of work we had to do. I think as a politician, a local councillor, I would divide the responsibilities into three aspects of it. There's the politics side of things, there's the council side of things, that you go to chambers to debate. The second bit is casework, where local people have any issues in the area, if there's any potholes or fallen tree or something like that, to address those kind of stuff. And the third part is the community engagement as well. You get invited to go to all these places to support people. So yeah.
What are some major projects you're working on right now?
In terms of politics, or
yeah, in terms of everything.
So I mean, settlers, I would say, is the biggest project I'm working on right now. The app there's continuous development that's needed. We are looking to see us getting on as many international students on board as possible onto the app. It's going to help them navigate through the entire journey from the time that they move to the UK till the time they become a citizen, if that's the case, if that's the journey that they're going to go through. So I think that app would help a lot of people, but at the current moment what we're doing is we are improving the user experience of the app. So most of my focus and the free time goes to that.
How has political field of the UK changed since you got into politics?
Absolutely, we are out of Europe now, which is disappointing. And the more interesting thing is, in the last couple of years, we've had multiple prime ministers. So that it was quite interesting as well. Since the time Brexit happened, I think the country has not had quite good leadership, so that's quite concerning. And I think for the first time since I've been here, I think there's more potential for a Labour government. Hopefully we will get a Labour government, and we might see better opportunities coming our way.
Yes, thank you. So what are some of your predictions for the UK for the next 5 years?
A Labour government.
So how do you stay updated on changes in political field and adapt your views and strategies based on these changes?
I wake up every morning reading news. That is a habit I inculcated way before I got into politics as well. For me, it's not just the UK, it's global politics, because my family is overseas, so it's very important for me to stay up to date of what's happening around the world. So it's important for me to get the information from the right sources as well, so the credible news agents. Also, I like to read people's opinions as well, like credible people write their opinions about different policy matters and stuff like that. It could be academics, could be journalists. I think it's very important to see two sides of things. I believe in duality. It's not I don't really like to approach things in one-sided way. It's good to see different perspectives. So different news outlets and opinion polls, and definitely it's called X now, but it used to be called Twitter. So that's where politics happen.
Yeah. How do you work in team to achieve success in your projects?
Number one thing is understanding each person's strengths that is in your team. You know, so that's a very important part of it. As a leader, if you think that you know everything, you're not going to be a good leader. You need to be able to recognize the strengths of each and every person in your team and encourage them to bring the best out of them in your team, and actually trust that they do a good job, right? And if there's times where you see one of your team members are not up to their standard, just actually just having an honest conversation. Do you need any help? Can I help you out or whatever? So I guess that's about it. Being open, honest, and transparent takes you a long way, actually.
Yes. Would you recommend to go into politics for others?
I would say if you're not passionate, don't do it, because it can be very tiring, exhausting, and there's a constant battling. It's something that needs to be done if you're passionate and if you love it. Don't go for it for the wrong reasons. Go for it if you really believe that you want to create change and it's something that you really are passionate about.
What does it take to succeed in this field?
Resilience is what it takes to succeed, and being your authentic self.
Yes.
That is what it is.
Do you have any advice for students struggling with transition from academia world to professional world?
For me, what helped me is actually engaging in a lot of student societies and networks and stuff like that. Building that network would actually help you broaden your network. Also open you up into loads of opportunities. I think there's this notion where sometimes, and I've seen this myself, when international students come here, they tend to stay with their own people, with their own country students and friends, instead of opening yourself up to other networks. I think the biggest thing you can do for yourself, because you're paying so much of fees, first of all, make the best out of the student experience by making loads of friends from different networks and different countries. One of the best things that alumni, what you can see is a global trade has improved because you're making connections with international students all across the world. So I think to capitalize on that, make those connections, and go for, if there is any little workshops that the university provides, like a career building or any of like skills training, use those facilities, because that you don't understand how much it actually adds value for your CV as well as you as a person as well. So that would be my recommendation.
Thank you for this advice. Do you have any advice for students struggling with stress?
The university's counseling service is one of the best. I've used it multiple times. It helps you out in so many different ways, and sometimes what international students sometimes are looking for is financial support, and that is where the stress comes from. There is some services within the university that can help you with that, particularly helping you with urgent supplies like food and stuff like that. So I think using the facilities is very important. The other thing is, because the weather is so cold and it's raining and gloomy, you might not feel like getting out at all. Especially for students who come from tropical climates like how I did. I just didn't want to even get out, to be honest, the first couple of days. My face and my nose would feel like they're about to drop off, So what I would say is you need to get out for a bit. Sometimes you need to force yourself to do that just for 30 minutes or something like that. It changes a lot of things for you. It helps you out mentally and physically as well. University has the gym and sporting exercises as well, so be a part of it. I enjoy playing badminton, things like that can really help you balance out with your mental health.
Thank you very much. And the last question is, if you could go back in time, would you change anything about your experience at university? Would you give yourself any advice?
I wouldn't change a thing, because all of the hardship I went through made me stronger today. But if there's one advice I can give me myself, I would say don't stress so much. Things are gonna be fine.
Thank you very much for the interview. It went splendid. Thank you very much.
Thank you.